What a time we are living in. Every day, either from Microsoft or from Google or from Anthropic or from OpenAI or from open source community, we get to see some amazing tools. In this video, I am going to install NLWeb from Microsoft locally and we will see what exactly this project is. This is Fahad Mirza and I welcome you to the channel. NLWeb from Microsoft is an open source toolkit designed to make it very easy for websites to create conversational interfaces that can be used by both humans and AI agents. It uses existing web standards like schema.org or RSS feeds to automatically generate natural language APIs for website content. Think of it like if you have a blog, then you can simply convert it into this format because the project aims to establish a foundational layer for the AI web similar to how HTML revolutionized document sharing by providing shared protocols and sample implementations that enable seamless natural language interaction with web content. I will be talking a bit more about this project, especially from the architectural point of view, but I think let's try to get it installed and then I think that will describe it much better. Now I'm going to use my Ubuntu system, though I have one GPU card on this system, which is NVIDIA RTX A6000, but I'm not going to use it for the purpose of this video because it does not support any local models at the moment. You can use either Anthropic or OpenAI, Snowflake and various other options. Okay, so let me first start by creating a virtual environment. And if you're also looking to rent a VM or GPU or CPU on very good prices, you can find the link of Massed Compute in the video's description with a discount coupon code of 50% for range of GPU. So please do check them out. Okay, so let's go back here. My virtual environment is almost created. Now let's git clone the repo of this NLWeb. Shouldn't take too long. That is also done. And then we can simply install all the requirements from this code directory which they have shared. And I'm just going to run this requirements.txt. While it installs it, let me also introduce you to the sponsors of the video, who are Camel AI. Camel is an open source community focused on building multi-agent infrastructures for finding the scaling laws with applications in data generation, task automation and world simulation, and you will also find their link in video's description. Okay, so that is all done. Let's clear the screen. Let me also rename the environment file. And then let me open this in my VS Code because I want to show you a couple of files or 3 files where we need to make the change. So this is a repo where we need to make the change. First up, if I just open that .env file which we have done, you will see there are a lot of endpoints which you can mention. By default, it uses the Azure cloud, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to use OpenAI and its endpoint. So I will be putting in my OpenAI's API key here. You can also grab yours if you're following along from platform.openai.com, and that is a paid option. So make sure you're aware of that. Now, not only you need to make the change here, if you're using Azure Cloud, then don't worry about anything. Just set up your org and all the credentials. You are good to go. But as I'm going to use OpenAI, or if you're going to use Anthropic, Snowflake or others, then you can simply make the change here. Then on the left hand side, go to config. There is first file config_llm. You see that it is by default using Azure OpenAI. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use just OpenAI. So for that, I am going to change this to OpenAI. That's it. And rest is fine. It is going to use all of this configuration from OpenAI. Similarly for Anthropic and others, you can set up your preferred endpoint. Another thing which you need to do is to go to config_embedding. Again, I am going to use OpenAI, so I'm just going to remove this Azure underscore. This is the embedding model, and I will be talking about more about why exactly we need embedding model, why exactly we need LLM, and why exactly we need another one which I'll show you, config underscore retrieval. So this is for search. I'm just going to go with the quadrant local. This is a vector store or embedding store. I'm not using Azure. And this is a local database for quadrant which we are going to install as part of this. So 3 files here: embedding model, LLM, and our retrieval model. I will be talking a bit more about it, what exactly the use case for it. So we have made changes into 4 files, and let me know, this is the first file which I showed you. So let me put in my API key here in here, and then I'm going to go back to terminal. Okay, so all the prerequisites are done, tool is installed, and we also have set up all of the LLMs. Now is the time. Before I run the demo, let's try to understand very quickly in simple words what is happening. So the architecture of this consists of 2 main components. First, there is a simple REST API protocol for natural language query that returns schema.org formatted responses, and a straightforward implementation that can abstract websites as list of items. NLWeb also functions as an MCP or Model Context Protocol server, making it compatible with chatbots and AI assistants through a core ask method. The system is platform agnostic, and it supports various operating systems, vector stores, LLMs, and is designed to scale from cloud to your on-prem. So what happens is you give it your website, and then with the natural language prompts, if you like, it converts it into numerical representation, which is embedding. We need to store these embeddings in a vector store. That is where we have installed quadrant locally. You can use any cloud-based or whatever. In order to convert it into numerical representation, we need an embedding model. That is why we set that embedder. And then whenever a user makes a query, we need to retrieve the similar data. For that, we are using retriever model. So that is why we needed those 3 stuffs. Okay, now as a sample, you can either use your own, but Microsoft has provided this script with one of the sample data. So let me load it into my vector store with this script. So you see it has loaded this RSS data, which is a feed basically, and then you can see that it's an atom feed which has been added to our quadrant database after converting it into embeddings or numerical representations. Now once that's done, you can simply start your server, which is NLWeb server, from the root of the repo. Let's wait. And that is now running on our local hosts at port 8000. So let's go and run it here. There you go. And then you can ask it about anything about that website. Okay, it was fairly quick. I just asked about Kevin Scott, the Microsoft CTO, and it is telling us all about that website. Okay, these are the stuff which are available for Kevin Scott. And then maybe, I'm not sure if it knows about me. If it knows about Kevin, it should know about me. Okay, so it is asking that. So basically behind the tag is the name of that website which Microsoft has provided. It couldn't find anything. So maybe we can ask it other stuff, the natural language stuff which you can ask. There you go. So it found some data. So primarily what is happening, you have taken a website, you have encapsulated it in a sort of a server, and then you are chatting with your website, just like you would do with any other software repo. So this is what NLWeb is doing. It is trying to create a new sort of protocol around web, which is quite interesting in my humble opinion. All you need to do is to just grab the RSS feed and then go from there. Okay, now I haven't tested it, but what I have done here is I have just gone into my own website, fahadmirza.com, and then what I have done, I just scrolled down and I grabbed this atom, the RSS feed. I'm not sure if it is well formed, but anyway, I have just created the embeddings out of this. I just passed it this feed and then name of my website, and I believe that's what we needed to do in this case. And from there, I'm just going to run it. Let's see if it is able to do something or not. Should be fun. It is serving it. Let's reload this thing, and then maybe I'll just ask it Oracle. Okay, there you go. It is asking. Yes, very nice. So this is from my website. You see how cool is that? So a lot of stuff. Now if you see here, because we already have added behind the tech vectors, so that is why it is taking care of taking into the consideration both of the data. So you can keep adding it, and then let's check this out. So maybe my name is there, that is why it has just received it from here. How good is that? So what happened if I click here? I can even create a handler out of it. Very nice. Okay, I'll just go back. So you see, I could play around with it, but really good stuff from Microsoft. I'm very impressed. I think this could be a big thing in terms of MCP if we polish it more. Would be great to just get it installed with Olama, but until then, I think still really good stuff. And let me quickly check how much did it cost me in my OpenAI's platform. Okay, so for this session which I just showed you, it has charged me around 60 US cents. So you have to be a bit careful about this cost, especially around these API based models. But anyway, let me know what do you think. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're already subscribed, please share it among your network as it helps. Thank you for watching.